My name is Martin Sobota. I'm one of the partners of City Förster. That's an office of architecture and urban design, originally from Germany, but we have branch offices now. I'm the Rotterdam branch office. And we've been involved in Tirana since 2003, I believe. And we've done some projects here, and it's a fascinating context. Albania has incredible energy. I mean, there is ambition on every level here, and Albania really wants to do things. But sometimes it's very basic things that are lacking and that are not enabling people to perform the way that they could perform. So, I mean, as everybody knows in Albania, the property issue is a big issue, and that is a rotten foundation for everything that you're trying to start up. So it's very difficult to think long term if the basis is so broken. This is a big issue, and I believe that if this can be fixed, but this is a major challenge, if this can be fixed, then I have no worries about Albania, and I think then it will really take off at an amazing level. I'm actually, when I'm talking about the property issue being the crucial problem, I'm not even so worried about the construction part, about the urban development. I'm actually much more worried about agriculture, tourism, these kind of things. So the really investment, and that doesn't even have to be foreign, even local investment, is very difficult to achieve if you have no reliability. You can see that in the Durrana corridor, like we called it. That, for example, there is still some agricultural plots that they are very fragmented, so they will never be really productive. Whereas I think agriculture has an enormous potential to have also a landscape quality, so to have a recreational quality and not just have a built city along this corridor. In a way, what we were proposing in the Metropolis project was also to protect, in a way, between the two roads. There is a fantastic green area with mountains in very close proximity to the city, and that can be developed as a kind of agricultural territory that has recreational value for the city. So it can be a productive park, and I think that is a very powerful concept to develop. When you eat a tomato here, it's a completely different taste from a Dutch tomato, I can tell you. So. And I think part of this, the quality is, or part of this quality is that it's growing slow in the way that it is made. So I think one of the big potentials that is already here is this kind of, food has a kind of unparalleled quality in Europe here. So it would be wrong to now jump into a kind of industrial production of food, but to I think you can keep this and just take small steps and work with what is here. This already has a lot of potential. It doesn't need big investments. It needs to be orchestrated. And this, I think, is also the big possibility. I mean, this is what a government should do, to orchestrate the individual actions. It has already improved a lot. Let's say the sense of the common, to do things together, because of course after communism the first reaction was complete individualism. So when we came here in 2003, everybody was only cleaning the in front of his own door, and 10 centimeter, half a meter next to it, he didn't care. This has already changed quite a lot. I think this moment is a turning point, because there is incredible potential in this country. You have nature that is not found like this anywhere else in Europe, really untouched. You have agricultural potential. You have a beautiful coast for what is left of that, or a potentially beautiful coast. You have incredible personal ambition. There is people. I mean, you see people investing into their environment everywhere. Look around you. There is investment. There is capacity also in the country, but it needs direction, and it needs a vision where you want to go. And once that is given and that can be communicated, and everybody kind of contributes and is convinced of this vision, um, yeah, then I'm curious how this country will take off. What will happen when Albania will, go closer to the European Union? Because the European Union, at least in the past, has been a regulatory framework, a lot of regulations. And some of these regulations are very good, but sometimes it's also over-regulated. Albania is the exact opposite. So I think there is a huge potential in bringing these two together, because from Europe there is also an interest. We did a workshop with Coplan in The Hague, actually, to think of a kind of almost negotiated urbanism. How to bring people together and to solve issues in a dialogue. And I think this is a know-how that Albania can contribute very well to Europe. And at the same time, there is also, there is an understanding of planning in Europe that is not top-down, that is, participatory, and that can take on local initiative in order to bring everybody together and develop a context. In terms of comparable contexts, it's difficult to say. I don't know. I don't know a city that is comparable to Tirana, I have to say. Because it's not. Also, if you're talking about informal settlements here, it has nothing to do with informal settlements in Rio de Janeiro or in Accra. It's a very different type of informal settlement. So it's a unique city, I think. I think there was wonderful experiences a couple of years ago when we were presenting our projects here. There was always a dialogue with local architects and international architects, and I think we all learned a lot from each other. This should really be developed further, and because now comes the difficult part. Now we have to, the ideas are there, the concepts are there, but now plans need to be made and the whole thing needs to be implemented.